Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of the Fishing Teacher, and thanks for tuning in for the video. I always appreciate that, and sort of flushed and out of breath right now. I just literally walked out of the gym and I'm still recovering from a pretty hard workout, but out here in the parking lot doing today's video. Guys, today I'm going to give you all some tips and advice on what you need to do to catch bass after a cold front during the springtime of the year, because in my opinion, the cold fronts, they affect bass more in the springtime than any other time of the year. So we're going to get into that in today's video. Also, guys, before we get started here, just wanted to give you guys a quick reminder about our spring sale on my Solar Bat series RB2 and RB3 series sunglasses here. If you guys get a pair during the spring sale, you can get them at 25% off. And also with any purchase over $100, you get a $30 grab bag from Solar Bat. So I'll put the Solar Bat link in the description if you guys would like to check you out and get you a pair. Much appreciated there. Okay guys, cold fronts, man, they're the sort of the nemesis of anglers, and not all cold fronts are created equal in terms of what they do to the fish and how they shut fish down or whatever like that. It's been my experience over the years that when a cold front comes through, there's not another time of year that it impacts the fish negatively or turns them off or makes them more difficult to catch than in that sort of that March and April time frame that we're in right now. So I sort of wanted to give you guys some tips and advice on what to do after a cold front rolls through, because it seems like every time you go fishing, it's like it can be beautiful all week, and then the weekend comes and there's a cold front that comes through. So first of all, let's talk about the cold front. The worst cold front scenario, and that's what I want to focus on here, is that cold front where, say you've had a front come through, you've had some rain with it, the temperatures were warm leading up to that cold front coming in. Cold front pushes through, and then you got bluebird skies and a north wind, usually a pretty hard north wind. That's the worst case scenario for spring fishing out there, because what that does is it keeps the fish from really chasing a lure or coming up on a lure. So say, for example, if you were fishing the first week of April and you were catching some fish on a fluke, just fishing a fluke just under the surface on points or back of coves or whatever. After a cold front comes through, guys, those fish more than likely will not come up and hit that fluke. They'll not rise off the bottom to actually go after that lure. Same with a topwater lure or any type of lure that is high on the water column there. So if you're on that type of a bite, or if you're on some type of a reaction bite from a slow reactionary bite, like a swim bait or chatterbait or something like that, that doesn't bode very well. Here's what you want to do after a cold front comes through. You either have to go very fast or very slow. Now, one of my favorite ways to catch them after a cold front comes through is on a fast reaction bait. Now, there's a difference between a moving bait, like say if you're reeling a swim bait just at a moderate pace through the water column, that can create a reaction strike at times. But after a cold front comes through, the fish aren't going to hit those moderate to slow retrieve reaction baits. You got to move something really fast through the water column. And my favorite thing to do with it is like a lipless crankbait or some type of a medium or shallow running crankbait that you can really burn fast next to some type of an object. And a lot of times after a front, that will create a reaction strike that will turn a non-aggressive fish on to bite the lure. That's one way to catch them. The other way to catch them is dragging a lure on the bottom. So a lot of times after a front comes through, one of the best ways you can catch them is like on a shaky head or a Ned rig or a wobble head jig or a football head jig, just dragging it on the bottom in and around those same places that you may have been catching them shallower before the front went through. But you have to make some type of an adjustment. Most of the time what you'll find after a cold front is like, a cold front's fixing to come through without even looking at the weather, because the fish are usually biting good. Prior to a front, the fish are aggressive, they're chasing, they're feeding. It's just what they do. And after that front comes through, they just get a little bit difficult to catch. They're not as active. They become a little bit more dormant, and you have to make those adjustments to do that. So main thing, guys, after a cold front is put down those lures like topwaters and floating worms and flukes and big swim baits and glide baits, and go to some type of a super fast reaction bait, or just slow down like a snail and just wait for that frontal system to sort of stabilize a little bit, where you got that shift from that north wind back to the south. So hope it helps out. We'll talk later.